Sorry, Vortex, I can't refrain from telling people to kill themselves. I realize that that's just kind of my thing, you know? And you might see that as like really cold and insensitive. Honey, I've worked in restaurants for 15 years and I've internalized quite a bit, so shut your fucking mouth, okay? Most of the people that criticize me are piece of shit mass consumers. And why do we give a fuck about piece of shit mass consumers, right? Make something, bitch. Make something. That's not just your reaction to something else that somebody else made, okay? I mean, I'm like a reactionary comic. I will definitely say that about myself. Oh, that person lost their tire. I hope you find it. I feel for anybody having car trouble. But yeah. I've definitely wrestled with the whole, like, am I being too mean? I'm like, no, you're a fucking insult comic. And this is part of the art form. And none of these other people that insult you are insult comics. Unless there's something about their life that they're not revealing, okay? Because I look all of them up. Any person that has an issue with yours truly, I look them up. And I ask, because I have to ask this question, because I don't want to just assume that everybody that insults me is just stupid or wrong, you know? Because coming from their perspective, like, if I were to just take myself out of it and imagine being them, then yeah, I could totally understand why, you know, I'd seem so out of whack, because I think that people that watch Joe Rogan are lame. Like, I can't stand it when people act like they're pushing it and they're not doing anything. It's like the same thing as like these people that wear like a button that says socialism sucks, but like that's as far as they've gotten. Or like they know that feminists have destroyed a lot about, you know, gender roles, because it's not just about destroying women, it's about destroying men. If women aren't going to fulfill the role that they're naturally supposed to fulfill, then where does that leave men? You know? There are just so many things that factor into this. And I think that a lot of the time people only scratch the surface of every issue because they're not allowed to dig deeper. Because if they dug deeper, they would get called, well, probably schizophrenic, but they would also get called like idealistic or, you know, impractical, because people only want to talk about stuff that they can see. But people like us that can see beyond that, we seem to perceive things beyond everyone's level of comprehension. And I'm not saying that narcissistically, I'm saying that sadly. I wish that more people would notice things that are bad, like before it's too late. Like I've said with the smartphones, it's like, why does it take all these kids like being totally addicted to the phones and not being able to work, not being able to pay attention, not being able to have a conversation, not being able to sit at family dinner without being on the phone? Why does it take that for you to realize that the phones are bad? Why? Why? Yes, I yell about that. Okay, foliage! Yay! Ignore the Santa Claus tower over there. That's what we call the 5G, because we cannot accept the truth about the world we live in. See, I made a joke. I made a joke about the world because it's not going to change it. It's not going to tear down the tower, okay? Don't worry, I'm not going to be one of those fucking anarchists that sets it on fire. I'm not going to do that shit. Because there's nothing you can do about what the big wigs do. The only thing you can do is help yourself and help the little people, okay? But most of the little people don't want to be helped because the little people want to whine about the big wigs. And there's nothing you can do about that. You just have to accept the fact that the little people are stupid, okay? Well, somebody called me. Who called me? I have to know who called me. Texted you. They didn't call you. They texted you. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. Okay, so you ever get text messages about places of residence that you don't have and packages that you never got sent to you, or fuck you! Okay, you need to just buy more tape, okay? So this is no longer a problem. Yeah, I really do. I need to buy some electrical tape. I don't know what happened to my other electrical tape. It's probably at the house somewhere. It's mainly because of this necklace that I have. My friend had it made for me. It's got my patron saint, Saint Mary of Egypt. But anyway, yeah, I do bitch about the little people a lot, don't I? Well, because the reason why we can't have a country, the reason why we can't have nice things, the reason why we can't have like a functioning society is because the sheep buy all the products that support bad people that do bad things to us. They support people that poison our water supply. They support people that feed us lies through the news media. Okay, think about it like this. Every single time, like, okay, to use a smaller example, and I know I've said this before, but it bears repeating, motherfucker. So, say something happens at your work. Say a fight breaks out, okay? There are 10 witnesses to the fight. They all have a different version of it, okay? And you're gonna get a different side of the story from every person that you talk to. They're gonna have like a tweaked version of the original thing. And keep in mind, that person's unchecked psychological problems are most likely going to contribute to details that this person embellishes. If you hear this story from a woman, she's gonna make it way more dramatic, okay? She's gonna act like somebody was gonna go to the hospital when, you know, maybe 2 people got punched, but then they're gonna talk about somebody going to jail or something, like, you know what I mean? Like, people do that so that people will pay more attention to something, you know? And that's why women lie so much, because they want people to pay attention to them. So they have to embellish stories, and they have to make it seem like a person was way more of a victim than they actually are. A person was way more of an asshole than they actually were, you know? But anyway, that's the news media. Okay, so say you hear a false story from the news media, and then like that just keeps circulating, and it's all a bunch of crap, but it's like, you hear all these different versions of what people think is going on. And what if there wasn't even a fight? What if those 2 people were actors? You know what I'm saying? It's just like, people just don't want to accept that they've been lied to. What, didn't Abraham Lincoln say, like, oh, it's easier to convince people, like, to fool people to convince people they've been fooled? Is that right? Well, happy Juneteenth, right?